Here's a tip to help you tell when your granola is done baking or even drying in the dehydrator. See, one of the issues is that when you're using things like honey and molasses, they're going to be kind of soft and melty even when they're done. So you want to start with, roughly your oven's timing or the directions timing. So in other words, that at 300, it's like about a half an hour. It'll be a few hours if you're doing 145 in a dehydrator, or if you're doing a low temp oven like a 175 to a 225, it will be probably not quite 3 hours, but around 2. And you want to keep stirring those in between. But you also don't want to overcook it. And the thing is that as long as those ingredients are warm, they're going to look maybe a little raw still. Nothing's really raw in here. So that's kind of the beauty. It might be soft and sticky, which is not your end product result that you're going for, but it's also not going to be unsafe, because there's nothing like eggs or anything in here that are going to be unsafe if they're a little undercooked. So what I do is I go about that 30 minutes. I look for, you can see in here how this is kind of starting to clump together, and then I'm going to spread them out. I'm just going to shut off the oven, leave them in here, let the oven cool out. I'll come back and check these when they're mostly cool. And then if they're still kind of soft, then I'll put them back on for a little while. So this is kind of similar to what you would do when you're, baking cookies. Think of it that way, that even when they're cooked, they still might be a little kind of soft and chewy looking, and then when they cool out, they stiffen up and harden up. So it's the same process, but again, it's no big deal. I just wouldn't take it off the trays until you are confident that this is going to cool out to be the nice crunchy granola that you want. But these are to a stage where I'm going to turn it off, let it just stay, let the oven cool down. I'll come back, check it in a couple of hours when it's cool, see what it looks like, and I might pop this back on if I think it needs to crisp up a little more. The darkness that we're seeing in this mix is because, again, I used molasses this time in this, so that's going to be a little darker anyway. So that's not like a browning. It is a little bit browning from the baking, but it's mostly browning from the molasses that's mixed in. So there you have it. Hope that helps. Again, no big deal, nothing you need to be worried about or concerned about. You're not going to make anyone sick with this. It's super simple that way. You just want to kind of get it to that nice dried point where it's going to be dry and not chewy as an end product.